This is probably going to take a second to kick in. We're doing this custom RTMP so I can stream from the Lichess channel. But I see people in the chat. Greetings, greetings. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Special shout out to the moms. Shout out to my own mom. She might be watching this actually. So, hey mom, I love you. I will see you later today. Now, let's get started. I have 69 challenges here. 71 challenges. Let's get going. Accept random. Now, I'm only going to be playing 3+0 blitz. Casual or rated, doesn't matter. It's got to be 3+0. And I'm going to be meticulous this time about aborting the games if it's not 3+0. So GM Terrace, let's go. Wow, I got a good player right off the bat. 2,300. Let's do this. Hello, Henry. I see you in the chat. Saving Private Pawn. Hello, No Joke Chess. Greetings, Magic Man and LB Hikes. Yeah, how's everyone doing today? Good, I hope. Let's play for E5. Oh, I can't resist. I'm going to go knight D5. Let's get this popping. You guys know the drill. I'm usually a pretty conservative, strategic player, but when I do these viewer challenges, I like to mix it up. I like to put you guys to the test. Take here. Now I'm going to win the piece back. We're removing a defender. And this looks painful for black because there's various discoveries, right? He's probably going to play bishop e7, but I think then d6 is pretty crushing. And after the trade, I get knight takes g6 in, open up the attack on the rook on h8. Yeah, I think this is just going to be a backbreaking move. Could even, there's this move, so probably d6 is what I want to do. Yeah, let's play it. Open the line. Get the rook going. All right. JD Mel says the Mora fear factor. Yeah, I like playing the Smith Mora on Blitz for sure. I've played it only maybe once in over the board chess. Although I do think it's a totally legit opening. But in Blitz, I really enjoy playing this opening. Okay, I could play bishop d2. Could just take. Probably taking is a little more flexible. Let's do it. Hello, Philip Holm. Alex Left. Greetings, no one is anyone. Joel Skill, yeah, good eye, says, oh no, the king is gone from the background. Yeah. I had to take it down temporarily because those of you who follow my channel might know I'm selling my house right now. So the photographer didn't want it in the picture, sadly. I really was pulling for it, you know, and I obviously could have included it if I wanted, but I deferred to the photographer. Okay, and GM Terrace resigned. Yeah, I think that knight e5 move was pretty costly. I think GM Terrace, you have to play knight e7 here, or maybe even bishop e7 to just give back the piece. But this knight c3 to d5 motif, especially with the rook on e1 opposite the enemy king on e8, remember that if you play the Sicilian for either color. Huge theme. Even in positions where it doesn't look like it's going to work, you got to consider it. All right. So let's go on to the next opponent. 3+0. There we go. Michael Pichu. Let's go. What do I want to play here? Let's play a bird. Michael Pichu. Is that like Machu Picchu? I like that. And shout out to Michael Pichu for being a Lichess patron. He's got the little wings next to his name. You love to see that. Yeah, huge. As always, shout out to Lichess, the site we're playing on here today. They are a completely free, not-for-profit site. And they've built a fantastic community over the years. So if you want to support them, you too can go on lichess.org. And there are a variety of ways to support. They basically run at cost. So they do have, you know, costs associated with running the site, but they keep them pretty minimal. But any support helps. I know they greatly appreciate it. So cool to see people supporting. And hey, you get the nice little wings next to your name if you do become a supporter. Patron. Oh, and I see the horsey emotes in chat. Yeah. Well, you guys know what the tradition is so far. I've done 2 of these Lichess Plays streams so far, and I hope you're already familiar with the tradition. What tradition am I speaking of? Ooh, that is a weak diagonal. Let's take that rook. Long range move. Got to watch those long range diagonal moves. Let's hide the king. Let's go here. I got to be a little careful on the light squares. Now I'm threatening this, followed by picking up the bishop. Winning every game? I would like to say that's a tradition, no joke chess, but as soon as I say that, I'm surely going to lose a game. So I will refrain from saying that. Oh, and my opponent resigned. Okay, so queen takes e6 was coming. Good game, Michael Pichu. Yeah, just gotta watch those long-range moves. You know, he was probably thinking that he wants to just defend the pawn on c5, which was attacked twice. I could have taken the pawn on b7 here, but I didn't want to allow bishop c6 right away with a trade. So I chose to defer, and that induced a blunder. All right. 2 games in the books. Let's go 3+0 again. Calumet, 2005. That is the year I graduated high school. The tradition I was speaking of was playing the final game of the stream with the legendary, wait for it. Oh, you guys can't see it. It's probably blocked by my webcam. But wait for it. The horsey set. It's down here. Yeah, my camera's blocking it. But the horsey set has been immortalized as an emote on the Lichess channel. And we play the final game of the stream with it. Okay. Here, let's see. Queen a5 is kind of interesting. Hitting the bishop, also maybe playing around with the idea of knight e4. Like, let's say white plays knight f3 in reply. I think bishop d2 is probably the best move. But looks like white's going to play for something like e3, and I'm going to go bishop b4. Horsey set, best set. A lot of people agree with you there. I'm currently using the Maestro set, which is this one. You guys can see that, Maestro. I've become kind of fond of it. I used to play with this one, Merida, and I still do from time to time. Let's go bishop e6, just develop and attack the pawn. Let's castle now. Now, I can try to hold on to this pawn. I think there's a pretty good chance that I'm able to do so. Now, I think from white's point of view, white should just play bishop e2 and castle in the short term. I'm trying to anticipate how white's going to attack this pawn. I think knight d2 is pretty likely. Let's play rook d8 so that if knight d2 is ever played, I can take on d4. Maybe after castling, white will play knight to a2. That's another idea that has to be on my radar. I could try for b5 here, because even though my queen is aligned with the enemy rook, they wouldn't be threatening to take immediately, but now this rook is defended. I think on the balance, I might want to take here. Just weighing my options in terms of how best to try to keep this pawn. Yeah, I think I'm going to take on c3. I would have preferred to keep the bishop pair, but I think it's worth it to do this. Let's develop the knight. Can we challenge you? Yes, you can. Yeah. I think if you type, what is it? !challenge, Nightbot will give you the command. There's actually a little hot link that Nightbot uses to challenge me to a 3+0 game. Yeah, knight b6. So we've got good reinforcement here. My queen, although it looks a little precariously placed, is actually pretty cozy over here on the a5 square. What to do now, though? Maybe f5? f5, try to induce white to play e5. I kind of like that because I carve out the d5 square. Why aren't you using the Dmitry Chess extension? I have a feeling that would annoy a significant amount of people. That's always a controversial one. Maybe like 20% of people would not enjoy it. The opening database saying it's the open classical Sicilian variation of the Richter-Rouser. For this game? Definitely not. That's definitely not accurate. This was a Slav. All right, now I think c5 is the next step here, but I need to defend this pawn, so maybe rook b8. Typically, you don't want to play a move like rook b8 where you just put a rook right behind a pawn, because rooks are too valuable to be defending pawns like that. But okay, and now rook b1. Now if I play c5, there is the move rook b5. And I could play my queen back to a6, but I would lose c5, so I'm not going to do that. Maybe bishop here? Or knight d5? Let's play knight d5. I think that may be worthy of play, because if knight takes c4, I can play queen takes c3, so I'm trying to hammer this pawn. He might just play rook c1. No, he takes. Okay. Well, I'm liking my bishop on d5 here. Now I'm going to play b5, because notice I'm doing it when this rook is undefended, so a takes b5 is not going to work. And I think that's an important move to get in, because now I can reinforce. I can move my queen back if I want as well. I got to watch the time, though. Let's play a6. This is going to be a time scramble. Pretty good bet that it's a time scramble. Yeah, this position's looking very good, though. I like my chances. Because I think this rook is actually going to be pretty poorly placed. White's going to have to retreat it soon. We're going to get a swap, and then the queen comes over, but I'm infiltrating here. Maybe check. I still have my eyes on this c3 pawn. Trades are good because we're up a pawn. Let's go attack this guy. And gain a little space here. This knight is kind of dominated by the light square bishop. And do I want to take that? Yeah, let's do that. Let's take. We'll play for c5. Further break up the structure. And then check. Go after this. The structure is collapsing. Check again. Take e5. I have not noticed any lag so far. This is a good sign. Very good sign. In a couple of the streams recently, in time scrambles, I've been lagging, but none of that so far today. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. All right, good game, Kayamet. That was competitive. I think Kayamet just never quite recovered from losing the pawn on c4. That's why in this position, bishop f4 and bishop g5 are not considered best. When black takes on c4, it's just a little harder for white to win the pawn back. And as you can see with this queen a5 idea, I was hitting the bishop, and there are just some tactical issues in getting the pawn back. Even though a4 is well-intentioned, trying to stop b5. Good game, Kayamet. All right, let's keep rolling here. Madman Burr is next. Good luck. Rated or unrated, doesn't matter. I will play either. I am willing to risk my rating. Tuller asks, hi John, do you think you could play the classical Sicilian? I don't know that Madman Burr is here. Sorry, Madman Burr. Going once, going twice. Abort. All right. Got to be ready if your number comes up. We got to abort this one. This is a correspondence game. I'm not falling for that trick today. I'm currently involved in a correspondence game because I didn't double check when I'm accepting the challenges what time control it was. And worse, it's a correspondence game with unlimited time. All right, 3 + 0. Harshal, let's go. E4. All right, let's play a Danish gambit. I played the Smith-Morrill. Let's play a Danish this time. Maybe I'll go all in with d takes c3, bishop c4. And Harshal knows one of the best lines against this. This is kind of a buzzkill variation. Tuller, I'm reading your question again about the classical Sicilian, where instead of playing e6, you play e5 to kick the knight. That depends on the line that you're going to play. Okay, knight f6 is a little odd. What to do against this? Could play c4 even. Let's play c4. Let's see what he does. Tuller, that depends on the line. So if they're castling kingside, a lot of times I will play e5 in the classical Sicilian, but if they're playing the Richter-Rauser variation, which is the bishop coming to g5, attacking the knight on f6, often you don't want to play e5 because white can trade on f6 and jump a knight into d5. And I know this is a little abstract if you're not seeing the position, but that's my general take on it. All right, so I'm going to be able to capture this pawn. Now, the only problem is I burned some time in winning this pawn. So if I were black, yeah, rook e8. I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to try to get castled here. I went from offering a gambit to now accepting a pawn. My opponent's playing a gambit of sorts. Starbucks, really, John? Have you not followed my channel at all for the past 6 years? Played the Scandi against John. A fair amount of people do that, actually. Okay, I gotta be careful in this position. I want to get castled. Yeah, bishop b4 check. Potentially dangerous move, honestly. Let's go here. Ooh, okay, I see some... I really could be in trouble if I'm not careful. c5, I wonder about queen e7 instead. Queen e7 might have been nasty. Take en passant here? Let's do it. What's happening? I mean, queen e7 is still interesting in this position. Hopefully he's not watching the stream. Okay. I'll have to check that after the game. I think I might have been in trouble there. Now that the queens are off the board, I feel significantly safer. Still not totally out of the woods, but yeah, I think that makes my life a lot easier. Yeah, shout out to en passant. En croissant. As we know, if you have a chance to play en passant, you have to take that chance. It's not even up for debate. They should actually write it into the rules of chess that you must play en passant if given the opportunity. Just like in checkers, where if you have a capture available, you must capture. They need to do chess 2.0 and just make that one rule change. Don't you guys think? By the way, is it just me, or... So when I was learning checkers for the first time, which I fully admit I never dove into nearly as much as chess, but when I learned checkers for the first time, it took me a long time to even realize that if you have a capture possible, you have to play it. I didn't know about that rule for the longest time. Is it the same with you guys? Let's play g5, because this knight looks a little bit awkward. Can't go to d7, so he's going to have to go to h7. And now, maybe f4. Looks annoying. Prop this up, maybe allow for this. He's probably going to want to reroute this knight. But even if it lands on e6 eventually, he might run into f5. Didn't know that? Okay, so I'm not alone. You guys didn't know that as well about checkers. And by the way, did you guys also know, just only semi-related, but there is basically like a Lichess clone site that is dedicated to checkers. I think it's leadrafts.org. Is that right? Leadrafts? D-A-R-D-R-A-U-G-H-T-S? It is. Okay, cool. Have any of you guys played on that site? I gotta check it out sometime, especially now that we're talking about it. How trafficked is it? How many people play on that site? It's very dead? Oh, that's too bad. They also have Lee Shogi. Oh, sweet. What about Lee Go? Is there a Lee Go site? Let's do this. I gotta watch my time a little bit. Fortunately, my opponent is further behind on the clock than I am. I'm just picking off pawns here. Ooh. We can catch him in a pin. He's gonna have to take on c6. And then we'll win the rook. Okay. Good game, Harshal. Now, I'm gonna click the analysis board real quick because I think I was in trouble out of the opening. Just gut instinct. We can click on the little analysis engine here. Yeah, queen e7 is the top move in this position. Because if you're black, you really want to hammer this bishop and this alignment in general before white gets castled. Looks like it's not fatal or anything. The engine's showing rough equality or maybe a tiny edge for white. I can play queen e3, but queen e3, undoubtedly, that's a move that makes you uncomfortable. Or it should, I think, because the rook is lurking behind that queen. Wherever black moves the queen, my queen gets attacked, so that just presents some problems. I did also see that this might be a possible defense. with the idea queen takes e1 and then here. Also, I guess the bishop's hanging. So maybe I have some more resources, but yeah, I took en passant, as we said, which is morally forced. The engine doesn't like that either, though. Queen e7, and now for some reason it's better for black compared to the other line. Okay, so chances for black. But I would say, Harshal, you're maybe just the big picture thing I would do differently is trading queens. You don't want to trade queens in this position because you're on the attack and you're down a pawn. All right, good game though. Alex 4985 is up next. Let's do this. Have I ever played Go? Yep, I have. Go is a lot of fun. I'll play a Sicilian. Shout out to Tuller. Maybe I'll play a classical. Looks like we're going to get it. Sam Shanklin just came out with a course on Chessable for the classical Sicilian. And I play this line pretty frequently. The Kann and the classical are my two main weapons in the Sicilian. And I kind of rotate the two. I've also played the Najdorf in the past. I like the Dragon Sicilians as well, like all manner of the dragons. So the classical dragon even. But I actually think I'm starting to really come around to the accelerated and the hyper-accelerated dragon. I think there's a lot to be said for those variations because in those lines, black keeps the pawn back on d7 instead of putting it on d6 early on. And at the amateur level, I think those are extremely effective lines for black, honestly. If you're in like the, say, 1200 to 2000 range, which on Lichess might be, and I'm talking like over the board ratings, on Lichess that might be, let's say, the 1500 to 2200 range. I think that's one of the better lines you can learn in the Sicilian for black, accelerated or hyper accelerated. Let's play e5 here. So here I feel comfortable playing e5 because when you play this, it does weaken the d5 square, but I have a pawn on c6, so I don't have to worry about a knight jumping into d5 in the future. You look like Levy a little bit. Okay, I can confidently say you're the first person to ever tell me that. Do we send you a regular challenge to your username? Yep, you can see that Nightbot little message right there about how to challenge me. I think you can even click on that link. But my username is Fins. Oh, did I miss a pawn here? I think I missed the pawn on e4. Always watch out for those hanging pawns or pieces. He gave me a second chance, though. I thought he was going to reroute the knight, but... If your hair was 1 foot taller, yeah. Okay, knight back to c3. Let's take. I'm glad I'm feeling good today. I was a little apprehensive about doing this stream because I got my second Pfizer vaccine on Friday afternoon, and I was wiped yesterday. I'm sure those of you who've been fortunate enough to get the vaccine already, especially maybe your second dose, which I've heard tends to be worse than the first one in terms of side effects, can relate to this. But the first dose, I had minimal side effects, like my arm, like mildly hurt, but that was pretty much it. But the second dose definitely laid me out for about 24 hours. Just chills, like a low-grade fever. It just kind of felt sick, generally. But today, man, I woke up today. I slept for probably longer than I've slept in the past 2 years last night, and I feel amazing today. I slept for probably 10 hours. Slept for 8 hours, then woke up for about 20 minutes, and I was like, I want to sleep a little bit longer. And I slept for another 1.5, maybe 2 hours. It was incredible. That was your experience as well, El Cabrera? Got it. Okay, let's bring this back. I'm just trying to convert here up the pawn. If c5, I might play d5 to keep my structure intact in the center. Now, I know this flies in the face of Ben Feingold's rule, but I'm doing it for good reason. I'm trying to prepare d5. I want this overprotected so that if there's a trade... look at this sneaky guy. Sneaky guy, Alex4985. Let's play g6. We got to block that diagonal. Put pawns connected on the same diagonal. I like the effort. I appreciate the effort. He's still trying to hurt me here. Let's play d4. I almost guarantee you'll play h5. Yup. And now let's play bishop f5 or pawn f5. Let's play pawn f5. My king's a little bit open, but I have a pretty dominating central structure, and I'm up a pawn. Yeah, same exact experience, El Cabrera. Today I feel absolutely fine. Even better than I did before I had the vaccine, to be honest, but that's probably just because I got a ton of sleep. And believe me, I appreciate my sleep nowadays. I used to be a great sleeper when I was a kid, even into college, let's say. But man, as you get older and older, I've personally found it's just harder to turn your brain off and go to sleep and get some real quality sleep in. So if I can have a night where I can sleep 10 hours and I don't have the responsibility in the morning to wake up to, I am taking that 100%. Thank you, Alex, for the game. So a couple things, Alex, you played bishop e5 and then we had a capture on c6. In general, in the Sicilian, the open Sicilian, you don't want to capture on c6 if you're white because black gets to capture towards the center. And this pawn mass is just nice for black, simply put. There's a lot of central squares that black will control. White's going to have a tough time against this. And the other thing is, yeah, you just played this knight e2 move, which lost the pawn. I actually didn't take advantage of it, but it's already a little hard to find a plan here. If I were you, I would probably play for f4 and try to engage your flank pawn. Even though it opens up your king a little bit, I think it's worth it to get some pawn play going. Maybe play king h1 or something first. Okay, we are up to over 200 challenges. Look at this. Amazing. Playing Fessenmeyer. Karma says, that's my fear about aging. Bob Wusta says, I've heard that 0.02% of vaccine recipients gain a random superpower. If I could gain the random superpower of, let's say, being able to play the Grunfeld defense effortlessly, or the King's Indian maybe, that would be just great. I'm playing neither of those here, but I don't know. Those are just two of the openings that came to mind that I'd love to be able to play flawlessly. Okay, I'm tempted to take here. Nah, I don't want to give up that dark square bishop. It's too powerful. Hey, Duffman Chess, good afternoon. Let's play d6. I'm just getting ready to castle here. We get a similar structure to what we had last game, except there's a pawn on c4 this time, which will make a little bit of a difference, but I would still say black is extremely comfortable here. Now, this guy's a little bit tender, so maybe rook b8, let's tickle. Idea b3, maybe queen a5. Okay, how about another tickle? Maybe white will miss this. Maybe. If Fessenmeyer plays bishop d2, I think they're thinking about the position correctly. They got to be a little bit careful here. Maybe queen d2 as well. Queen d2 might be okay. Hello, Dr. Crazy Math. Superpower be more like Danya. Well, that would be, yeah. Danya is a chess hero of mine. I love his style. He's one guy I would love to train with. Maybe I will sometime. Queen a4. Okay, now I think that move is going to lose a pawn because after the trade, kind of like the last game, I win the pawn on e4. So I think bishop d2 or queen d2 had to be played there. And I said it right at the top of the broadcast, but today is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And happy Mother's Day to my mom, if she's watching right now. There's a good chance she is. I think my dad might be watching for sure. But Mom, if you're watching, I love you. I'll see you later today. And thank you for everything that you do for me and our family. Let's play c5. Oh, that looks like a mouse slip. I'm going to go here, attack the knight. Yeah, pretty good chance that they meant to castle there. Now I'm going to take here, and I think I'll put the bishop in on c2 after the capture, because that hits the rook, b2's weak, e4's weak. Unfortunately for Fessenmeyer, that was a pretty costly slip as well. You love my mom too, says Gunther. Oh, man. Bob Wusta says, hey, John's mom, good job on this one. Nice. Take. Let's take here. All right, let's castle now, get the rook engaged. Could have played king d7 as well, just keep the king centralized, but many roads lead to Rome. I think bishop d4 is also a pretty good move if I want to try to force a trade of bishops. Let's give a check. Make way for the rook to come in. And attack this pawn on a4. Check here. It doesn't do a whole lot. Let's go here, see if I can induce bishop b3, which will run into rook a3. Okay, I might get fancy with my next move. Oh no, my bishop. He didn't take it. How come when Eric says it, Eric Rosen, his opponents take the material, but mine don't take it? I was going to go rook c1 or rook a3. All right, let's play this. He's defending well. He's defending tenaciously here. But the position is too far gone, unfortunately. Let's get ready for the c-pawn to advance. Oh. Oh no, his bishop. All right, thank you for the game, Fessenmeyer. Yeah, I think the knight a4, or sorry, the queen a4 move was the one that really did you in there, because that's an important pawn to have lost. And then, of course, king f1, a little bit unlucky there. But, again, I would just say, in general, you don't want to take this knight on c6. I think black's already doing pretty well in this exact position, but I would recommend e3. All right, next player. M0, you're up. 1878, let's go. Who's going to knock me off today? If anyone. You know I don't take it easy on you guys. Let's play a Caro-Kann. What do I think about the McDonald attack versus the Sicilian? What is the McDonald attack? I've heard of it before, but I don't associate that with a particular move order. Very often when people ask about certain lines, it's lines I have only a vague idea about. Like they're obscure gambits or variations that often go by other names. E4, C5, F4. Ah, yeah, that line. It's not dangerous for black, really, at all. Theory says D5, E takes D5, and then E6, or sorry, knight F6 is a good approach against that. You can play it like a gambit, but that's not the only way to play. I think against E4, C5, F4, you can pretty much adopt any logical setup and be fine. You can play it just like you would against a Grand Prix attack. Okay, knight takes d4. This definitely catches my eye. Am I going to run into something like queen f4? Maybe. I could play knight f5 there, but I just don't trust it when there's a bishop b5 type move. So let's play a6. I'm going to try to build some pawns on light squares, take away important squares here. John, your face opening the Caro. I do not know what that means. I am playing the Caro-Kann. Let's go here. Now, if castles, maybe knight h5. I might play knight h5 anyways. He's going for bishop g7. Yeah, let's go here. I'll keep open the option of castling. Queen e3, I'll play bishop f6, probably. Maybe queen b6. I might play queen b6 against that. We'll see. Yeah, I like this. Hit this, hit this. Looks sketchy for black, honestly. Interesting. See, I like this position for black because I have a very compact setup. White has some weaknesses that are not going to go away anywhere. It might look like white's attacking me, but it's kind of pseudo-aggression. And you know why? In my opinion, it's because white does not have any pawns engaged in the attack. This is all piece play by white and pretty temporary piece play. So, yeah, I think black's in fact quite safe here. And watch me probably blunder a tactic or something, having said that. Okay, castles. Now I can take here. And I think I will, because after the trade, there's no bishop g7 because of knight takes. So let's do it. This is the mic that I use. I've used this one the past 2 or 3 years. It's a Rode USB mic. I think I'm going to be, well, I will be upgrading very soon, though. I have a Shure SM7B microphone. I actually bought it a few months ago, but I've been waiting till I move to actually start using it. Let's play 95, maybe. Go after this bishop. And this mic's pretty good. I've been very satisfied with this one, but this other mic that I bought is even better. So I'm looking forward to the upgrade. Also, I'm probably going to be upgrading my camera soon as well. I want to get one of those mirrorless cameras. Yeah, and spend a little money there, but have significantly better quality. Right now, I'm just using like a 1080p webcam. That's okay, but could be better. SM7Bs are great mics. Yeah, everyone I've met who is knowledgeable in that space says so. So, and having heard them, I fully agree. Let's take here. Is my bishop going to get trapped? I don't think so. Now, if white had played rook b1, maybe. But I think this is fine. You guys want to know something on Lichess that once you see it, you can't unsee it? It has to do with the board. And this is my perfectionism coming in. I'm going to see if I can point it out to you when the time comes. It's only on certain moves. But, yeah, I'll show you. It has something to do with the highlighted square. But I promise, once I mention it, you may not be able to unsee it. Hello, Chess Tiger. You're scaring Tebow right now? Okay, this is super minor. It is not something that anyone on Lichess should lose any sleep about. Let's go here. I really want to mate him somehow, but if I check, he's going to get in and actually cause some trouble. So we'll play bishop f8. I have all my pawns on light squares. Almost everything on a light square except for this bishop. But now I'm going to advance these guys. Start the push. Let's go here. Knight b2 is forced, and then the pawn is rolling. a4. Oh, we're both getting a little low on time. Got to play faster. I probably shouldn't have let the king get this far up. Oh, and this is going to be mate. Bishop f6. White stepped into a checkmate. All right. Good game. Mo7. And this one, I don't know. I kind of think queen d2 is a mistake. Truthfully, I'm not a fan of this setup for white as it stands out of the opening because the d4 pawn's a little hard to guard in some cases. With the knight on c3, you'd much rather have the pawn on c3 to protect the center. Thank you for the game. Giovanni Paolo, 2103. Is this a 3+0? It is. Okay, cool. The challenges have been a lot more consistent today. This is good. Replay K says, I'm staring at every square intently. Yeah, like I said, let's play knight f6 here. It's only on certain moves. And I don't even want to bring it up yet until I can show you guys. Let's play c5. C3. Decent move. Very solid move. That's a move that I might play. I have played before. Probably something with en passant. Nope. Has nothing to do with en croissant. Okay, now with the queen on c1, I like this idea of playing rook c8, often looking for a trade and some potential play down the file. He actually captures on c5, and I wonder if he's going to try to go after my light square bishop. He might, although I can play bishop e4. What is en croissant? Whatever you want. Butter, jam, peanut butter. Whatever you choose. All right, castle. Maybe even some hummus. That would be kind of weird. Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. That would be weird. Knight b4, yeah, I'm thinking about it, but I just want to get castled first. Let's play knight e4. And now maybe a5. I mean, a5, this queen seems a little lost. Maybe a5, a4, looking for the pressure against b2 eventually. I mean, a4 is possible here, but what does white do then? It's just kind of difficult to maneuver the white position. New Centurion, thank you for subscribing with Twitch Prime to the Lichess channel. Had a freshly made chocolate croissant from my local bakery today. Oh, that sounds really good. Those things are delicious. Your Lichess challenge disappeared. Well, let's see. I have 187 challenges right now. And as is often the case, I'm not going to get to everyone, unfortunately. I do apologize for that, but that's just the nature of having so many challenges. Okay, let's take here. Take towards the center. I still have a4 in the air. Actually, I maybe could have played it here. I instinctively dropped the bishop back so as not to allow this, but a4 might have been good in that position. But I think keeping the light square bishop is pretty solid. Otis86, thank you for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Shout out to Otis. That's one of my students. He's a great guy, viewer of my channel as well. And great to see you in here, man. Thanks for subbing to the Lichess channel. Okay, now this d3 square is looking pretty phenomenal for an infiltration from the knight. So much so that I would predict he goes back. And then maybe I play bishop d3. Ooh, he does not. Does not retreat. Okay, let's take that. And I could win a pawn here. Could play knight d3. Yeah, a lot of good moves. I think winning the pawn is probably just the easiest thing to do. We get a little 2-for-1 going on here. Knight takes c3. That seems to let him off a little easy. Let's go here. I'll take aim against this. I want to try to keep the a5 pawn. Thank you, Angus Stormwind. Awesome. Great to hear that. Thanks for using the site. All right, bishop b4 maybe. Or do I want to leave that there? Let's play queen in. I'll offer a queen trade. Maybe take with a pawn so that this pawn is kind of a fixed target for the future. I am indeed an average chess player. Taking challenges from the community. Okay, e5 looks like a good moment to play this. Lock the bishop out. And then I think f6, just another overprotection move. You've seen me already, if you've been watching for the past 30 minutes or so. You've seen me play f6 and f3 a few times. And it shows how you can't be too dogmatic in chess. Like, there are rules. Never play f6. You know, I say the f-pawn stands for forget about it. But it doesn't always apply. And some of those rules, like the f-pawn stands for forget about it, I often say that because of the opening. You usually don't want to move it in the opening phase of the game. Ooh, a little trap here. Okay, let's say I take on this square. And we get a trade. Rook b1, rook c3. That would run into rook takes b3, followed by bishop c4 at the end of the line. And I do have to watch that in this position. And let me think how I want to negotiate that. I think first I'm going to take here, or maybe play this. I'm going to play, whoops, I almost slipped there. I'm going to play rook into c3. You can go rook d1, I guess. That's probably not best, but... Now I'm up 2 pawns, and yeah, this should be a pretty routine win when the king gets in the action too. Rook c3 coming. Good game, Giovanni. Yeah, I think the capture on c5, although understandable with the pressure here, I just think this setup is not so great for white. So I think in general you should avoid queen c1. All right. John's been reading my system. Overprotection everywhere. You know, that's... Let's play English opening against Shantham Grarks. I think I just have that style. Overprotection style sometimes. Let's play queen c2, just defend the pawn on c4. I think I've gone over too many Karpov, Kramnik, Capablanca games in my life. Masters of technique. Very patient players. GG, yep. Thanks for the games, everyone who's played so far. Let's play e4 here. I've had this position several times, including games on my channel. Now, assuming there's a trade here, one idea you should be aware of is the move c5 for white. We might see that in this game. We'll find out. But c5 is often played as a pawn sacrifice to prevent black from eventually playing c5. As weird as that seems. So he's going to play bishop e7 more than likely. And now, do I play bishop f4 or maybe rook d1? Let me think about this for a moment. Rook d1. Yeah, let's play rook d1. I think this makes sense here, just to oppose the queen. I'm going to retreat my queen to e2. And now c5 is met by takes, and I have a discovery. So very likely he's going to want to move this queen, but it's a conundrum where to put it, because if he went to c7, I had bishop f4, so he goes to c8 instead. And this is around the time where I would be thinking about this move, just to block black from playing c5, and it may sacrifice a pawn, but it can be worth it a lot of times. I think here, though, I'm going to play this move, because I can meet c5 with d5, and this bishop is undefended. It's an idea you see. But then you play the Scandinavian. Yeah, the pawn is not overly protected on d5, I suppose, after e4, d5. Are you an Ulf Andersson fan too? Yeah. Ulf Andersson, I love a lot of his games. There's actually a really good book called Grandmaster Chess Strategy. And it's a book on strategy, obviously, as the name says. But it's based on Ulf Andersson's games. And it goes over stuff like the bishop pair, the exchange sacrifice, rook endings, big picture themes that you see in his games. Okay, knight h5. Probably a good reply. Seems like he's going to try to take on d5, which is understandable. I think I'll just play bishop e3. We'll recapture here. Position's morphing a little bit. I still like my setup, though. I think knight e5 to c6 is a pretty valid idea. I think this knight on the edge of the board will probably have to be relocated. Yeah. In the short term, my knight jumping to squares is probably the biggest thing I have going. And he's going to allow me to play d6 if I want. That's optically a risky strategy, but maybe justified. I don't know. d6, bishop d8. Knight e5, open up the attack here. Bishop b7, d7, queen c7. Looks risky, but I don't see a refutation, so I'm just going to send my knight up. We'll see what happens. Probably put it on c6. Can you reveal the bug already? I haven't seen a good opportunity to show you it. I want to show you it. It's not really a bug. It's just more a visual thing. A visual aberration. Here maybe? Can he take on d5 if I play that? He might. Knight takes d5 could be a threat here. Alright, I got one. Playing for tricks. I think you can play queen d7 here pretty comfortably, or queen c7 maybe. But he's getting low on the clock, so let's try to pressure. All right, let's go here. I think I'm gradually losing the plot. But I am ahead on the clock, which is helpful. Just cover some squares. This is going to be a time scramble. Oh, he takes on c6. Now, the capture on c6 I'm pretty happy about, because I should be able to keep this pawn for a while. Yeah, now this is looking great. Obviously, time is a huge factor, but ooh, we get this pawn solidified here. Awesome situation. Now, how to attack the b6 point? Guess he semi-blunders. He has rook e5, I suppose, but yeah, that was just a time scramble. I kind of wonder in that game where I could have played the middle game better. It felt like I had a tactical shot somewhere, but I definitely didn't play it right. So the engine gives a pretty big edge to me around here. d5, knight h5. Doesn't like bishop e3. It says bishop c1 is even better than bishop e3. Good game, Shantham Grarks, by the way. That was a tough battle. Bishop d2 or bishop c1. Those moves are more difficult to play psychologically, but I guess the point is I need to keep this pressure down the file. I don't know. d6 is good here. Then knight g5 attacking the rook. What happens if rook b8, bishop b7, there's d7. Okay, I guess there's ways I can force some stuff to happen here. I won't waste too much time going over this, but tactics associated with the d-pawn marching down the board, eventual overloading. Okay, yeah, d6 is pretty important. I decided not to go for that move, but this was a turning point right here. d6 is plus 4.3, knight e5, not as good. But thanks again for the game, Shantham Grarks. Next opponent, Beckinsdale, 1958. What about the Bonk Cloud opening in the next game? Ooh, this is a little too strong of an opponent. Let's play the Pirc defense. Last time I did play a Bonk Cloud, though. At least one, and it was touch and go, let me tell you that. Do you know Sagar Shah from Chessbase India? I know who he is. I've never spoken with him. Let's play b5. Threatening b4 followed by knight takes e4. Now, this is a fairly common approach that my opponent is using here. I'm not so familiar with these setups, I gotta say. I'll play knight bd7. I know that black often delays castling here because white will likely try for some kingside play. Let's go h5. I guess I might be rolling with my king in the center, but we'll see. I guess I'll start expanding. As black in this position, I am basically banking on the center remaining closed for the time being, so I can do a little demonstration over here and attack him. But he plays a good move. Yeah, that is well timed, I think. I missed that this was possible, because if I take twice, I would get mated here. So that might be just a very good move. I'm going to have to do this and hope. that I have decent play. But maybe this isn't so bad. I mean, even if I lose a pawn, maybe this is acceptable. Rook e1, I can play knight e6. Okay, now he can play d5 here, but I think that was actually a pretty big miss on white's part. d5, maybe pawn takes, knight takes, queen c5. Yeah, I should be able to defend. Yeah, I think that was a big-time mistake for my opponent. I think they flat out missed that knight e6 was possible. Please play the Vienna. You know, the Vienna is one opening I've never really... I played it a couple times from the white side, but I never really saw the appeal of it. I guess the... Whoa, creative move there. So if queen takes b5, check, which is a royal fork and I can't take. I want to try to find some way to make this backfire on white, because I would be threatening mate, but I don't see it. I should probably just castle. I could play bishop takes b2 here and try to take with check, but I feel a lot more secure with my king castled. John, can you play Ben? Like Ben Feingold? Today I'm playing viewers. But I have played Ben in the past. Oh, thank you, Klepnos. Appreciate that. Yeah, shout out to Jerry, Chess Network. He plays on Lichess as well. Can I do a hyper-accelerated dragon? Yeah, I can play that. Definitely. We were just talking about that opening not long ago. All right, rook b8. We got a free shot at the white king here. Bishop b3. We're going to leverage things open with a4. c3. Okay. So moves like knight e5 look pretty difficult to meet here. Threatening knight c4. Not only is white uncoordinated, but they're down a piece and their king is wide open. This is tough. Who is Gary Chess? He's the inventor of chess and also the father of Anna Chess. Gary Chess. Well-known figure in the chess world. Do you believe the modern Scandinavian is more sound than the normal Scandi? So again, this is one of these, like the modern Scandinavian I think is... Can you just define what the modern Scandinavian is? Are you talking about the 2 knight f6 variation of it, or are you talking about the queen a5 variation of the Scandinavian? We're waiting for him to release Chess 2.0. Yeah, he's been working on Chess 2.0 for a while. Rumor is they're going to fix the en croissant bug. That's one of the biggest things about Chess 2.0. As I was saying earlier, they're going to compel you to play en passant, as you should, if ever it comes up. Knight f6 instead of taking the pawn back with the queen. Okay, yeah, no, I don't think it's better than queen takes d5. And I personally don't like it as much. So that might be my own bias talking. But no, I think knight f6 is very much like a, on move 2, that is, it's very much like a Alekhine's defense. Okay, we're just cleaning up here. Queen takes a3 because of the pin. Can I play this move? This looks like fun. Ultra pin. This square is covered. Now we're probably going to mate him. Checkmate. Beckinsdale, thank you for the game. Yeah. Critical moment here when e5 was played. I would bet that this is good for white. Because I played knight h7. I missed that e5 was possible. Again, because if I capture twice, I get mated down on d8. But white had to play the capture back here. Or sorry, after this, white has to play the capture back because rook e1 ran into knight e6, and I'm pretty sure it's all over after that. Yeah, look at the difference in eval here. H takes g5 is plus 1.5, +1 for white. Black has some compensation, I'd say, practically, because of the dark square bishop, but pawn's a pawn. But yeah, after knight e6, there's just not enough compensation here. It looks a little scary, but black has everything covered, and white's not coordinated enough. All right, thank you for the game, though. Who do we got here? 3-3. I am sorry, I gotta decline this challenge. I know it's just a 3-second increment, but we gotta stick to the rules. 3+0 only. Oh, Clipnos, you were just in the chat. Good luck, Clipnos. Let's play E6. I want to play F5. Shout out to my student Rage8. He's on Lichess. He is a Dutch aficionado, and we've talked at length about these lines. And I saw a really nice game he played the other day. Maybe I'll try to emulate him in this game. Let's see what happens. Is he going to go for E4? Maybe. He does. Okay. All right. Let's play capture. And now what? D5? I feel like black should play actively here. So something like D5 or knight C6 maybe. Let's go knight C6. Try for some pressure against the center. Something like knight B4. Again, D5 definitely comes to mind. Knight B4. Let's play D5. We'll play in the center. Board Apple says I just get crushed in sidelines in the Dutch, such as Hopton attack or Raphael variation. Yeah, again, these are lines I've heard, but okay, here we go. This is very slight, but you can see there is a border on the highlighted square on F6. This one doesn't even show it so well, but there's like a sliver of the dark square visible that's not fully filled in by the yellow highlighted square. This is the aberration I was talking about. Once you see it, you won't be able to look away. Nah, I'm just kidding. Of course, it's basically a non-issue. Don't lose sleep over it, Lichess. You're doing a great job. But it only does it on certain squares. This one is totally highlighted. There's no sliver on the right hand. It's always on the right-hand side. There's no sliver. Ooh, knight b4 maybe? Nah, he has bishop h7. Let's take this way. Anders says, I see it. Sandiha says, I can't see it. Still can't see it. I'll point it out again if I see it. It's only on certain squares. Maybe it's an Easter egg. That'll be fixed tomorrow now that you mentioned it. Yeah. Oh, well, as long as I'm streaming right now on Lichess, I should just say, and I should submit a bug report for this, but on Lichess Study, they might have fixed this recently, but when you upload or set up a position, I think it's more when you're setting up a position from the black side, it's been defaulting to the white side. And when you click orientation and you want to show it from the black side, it's been showing it from the white side recently. Another pretty minor thing. And do take advantage of the Lichess Study tool, which is up here under Learn and then Study. This is an amazing tool. One of my favorite things about Lichess is this tool right here, where you can aggregate positions and create like a diary of your own games if you want. You can create opening studies. There are studies dedicated to live tournament coverage. Amazing, amazing tool that they've had on Lichess for a few years now. It's a feature, not a bug, designed to annoy perfectionist people like myself. Hey, Smithy Q. Yep, totally agree. Studies are phenomenal. How many challenges? 179 right now. I'm up a pawn here. Should I take on e3? I don't see why not. Always got to watch stuff like bishop h7, but I'm sidestepping. I got the rook backing this up, so I think we're good. My favorite Dutch game is when Carlsen played secretly against Jan Gustafsson. Oh yeah, that's a legendary video. Okay, Clipnos getting low on time. Now, I might just take here. I'm also semi-tempted. Ooh. All right, should I get fancy on Clipnos? Knight b4? I might be asking for it with this move, but oh man, I can't resist now that I'm looking at it. I can't resist. Let's do it. Let's try. Or little back ranker idea. Like, it looks like he's winning a piece at first, but because of the weak back rank, I think he sees it. Kudos to Clipnos. Yeah, he sees it. He's trying to make a square. Unfortunately, his rook was also attacked, though. Tricky business. Okay, thank you for the game, Clipnos. Yeah, I think losing that pawn in the opening definitely hurt. Or early middle game, let's say, after bishop g4, just the weakness here. I don't know, I feel like maybe you could have played a little more actively. I'm not sure about bishop e3, for instance. The bishop's kind of wedged in here. And in general, I think you want to avoid putting the bishop on a square like that, where it's purely defending pawns and somewhat limited. So this position may be totally fine for black, but I think you should play a little bit more actively around here. Thank you for the game, though. Thanks for chatting in the Lichess chat as well. Telos is next. Okay, 1754. Let's play. What have I not really played yet? Let's play a Grob. Also known as the spike. Or is the spike g5 for black? I don't remember. Wow. This might be one of the most conservative responses to the Grob I've ever seen. But not without value, because it prepares d5 when you've really got this diagonal on lockdown. So, all right, that's fair. Your favorite meal? Oh, I guess I should answer this question because it's been asked several times. I would say a good steak. Like a good prime rib or something. I know that's not really a complete meal, but maybe added some mashed potatoes, some grilled veggies, something like that. I don't know, though. I'm honestly more of an eat to live type person than a live to eat. But I'll go with a good steak as far as a single food item that I really like. Okay, this might have been worth preventing. Not a big fan of what I did. Let's just play knight here, though. So a3, I can play this. A little bit cramped with that bishop. Favorite hot dish? That's a very Midwestern thing. Like tater tot hot dish. You should visit Argentina then? Oh, I'd love to. That'd be great. Oh, there it is. You see it? Look at that. Move my mouse out of the way. Now it's gone. You got to be quick to spot it. That little sliver right there. I wonder, because we saw it on f6 when we were playing black. I wonder if it's on these squares. Little zone. All right, let's play g5. I'm going to start expanding and attacking. He's kind of slumbering with his development over here, so maybe I can put the Grob pawns to use. Knight h5. That knight is a little loose over there, right? Bishop f3. Oh, okay, there's no sliver here, so we've debunked that theory. h5 is now forced. I don't think there's any other way to save this knight. Or, sorry, g6 is forced to defend h5. And then I think I'm taking and pulling my knight somewhere to attack. Okay, this counterattacks the bishop, but the bishop's defended is the issue. So I don't think that's going to be too successful. Why not play bishop takes f6 and cause doubled pawns? You know, that was definitely a legit option, but I don't like playing that as much when the g-file is closed. If there was no pawn on g4, I might be more apt to do that, but I think my dark square bishop is too strong otherwise. You see, guys, you play the Grob, and you win in 13 moves. I don't think I would have won in 13 moves with any normal opening. But yeah, disclaimer, do not try the Grob at home unless you're experimenting. I can't recommend this opening. It's one of the worst starting moves for white. I think f3 is technically the worst opening move, but I think g4 is also up there. What do you guys think? Like those two, h4 I think is also pretty bad, but f3 and g4 I think got to be some of the worst opening moves. Thanks for the game, Telos. Next up we have Christos, Akbar, Christos Akbar, 1912. Let's go. We're in the second hour of the stream, so I'm on to my very cold tea. Let's play a Scandi. I'll write it in the chat. Hashtag Team Scandi. Shall I play a modern Scandinavian? Oh, there it is. I'll play a modern Scandinavian since you guys were asking about it. Ooh, okay. I'm liking this position already. I think black has some nice compensation here. Let's try to prevent castling. I'm expecting queen e2. I think that would be the most natural way to try to break up this idea. It may not be so bad for white, but... Ooh, b3. Something about this looks very sketch for white. And I could take and try to just permanently disfigure the white pawns. Ooh, look at that. Look at that down on b2. All right, I'm going to stop pointing. I can't. I'm not going to point it out anymore. But like I said, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Okay, queen check maybe? Thing is, I think white's eventually going to play queen e2. It's going to happen. But I'm tempted to play, moves like e5 as well. I don't know. Let's castle. Hello, Confucius. Well, I'm playing viewers right now, but you have to challenge me. Let's give a check. You have to challenge me. Nightbot just put in the chat the link to do so. And I'm doing challenges at random, so I won't get to everyone today. This is a 2-hour stream. But there will be more of these streams to come. You beat me in the endgame of a simul 4 years ago. Today I will have my revenge. Wow. That's intense. Where was the simul? Was it an online simul or an in-person simul? Computer smoke. Now, white is threatening knight takes f7 here, so even though I have a good position, I think, I gotta watch out for that threat. So, I mean, I could play bishop e8, but that feels kind of lame. Maybe bishop here. But then d3, huh? Nah, that's probably okay. Let's do this. I wonder if he'll see what I'm up to with this move. But I'm thinking I put the bishop back on g6. Ooh, this looks... Oh, but he has queen e6. But it may not matter. Queen e6, rook d7. This rook on f1 is a goner. What's he going to do about that? I think this is just going to be mate soon. Or he has to play king d1, which is capitulation. This rook here, of course we just take it, and that'll be mate. So white's options to try to delay checkmate here are queen e2 and king d1, neither of which is appetizing. I would just expect king d1. Okay, that's another option to try to delay mate, but yeah, that's also not going to work. Thank you for the game, Christos. Oh, let me check here this opening. The modern Scandi. e6 is probably also a good idea. A lot of times black will sacrifice a pawn in this opening, especially if white's playing for c4. But c6 or e6, yeah, I think e6 maybe even a little bit better. But that being said, if white had played queen e2, it's not so bad. You can see it's even advantageous for white by a little bit, according to the engine. But I think queen e2 is almost mandatory. Wow, knight h5 is, look at this, minus 4.2 in this position. Knight h5. Trying to get into the f4 square. That's surprising. I played castles, which Lichess labels with a double question mark. And it clearly likes this, way more than any other move. That's fascinating. That's definitely an engine move. Maybe I have a chance to find that move in a longer game. I might find that. But that takes some imagination, I gotta say. Knight to the edge of the board. But evidently this f4 square is so important that that's the way forward. It kind of makes sense in a way, because the queen and the bishop are already doing about as much as they can here. And no other piece for black, in the short term at least, looks like it's going to be participating very much. So this would threaten, if my knight landed on f4, it would threaten to mate with knight takes g2. Ah, the classic line. And if queen e2, queen g6 is good. Again, threatening knight f4 and avoiding a queen trade even. Because if ever white has to play g3, then they're going to get hurt on the light squares, because that g-pawn was protecting the knight. That's interesting. Okay, well, this is your quiz position to give to a strong player for the day. If you have a high-rated friend, or maybe a coach or even a student, some player even lower rated that you want to just give this to as a little riddle, like what is the best move here? I think this would be an interesting one, because that is not an easy move at all. Even with the prompt that there's a move that the engine definitely likes, not an immediately winning move. But I'd be curious if they could come up with that. B99 is overrated, 1976. That is a username that really only a chess player might be able to understand. B99 is the ECO code, which is like the chess classification code that I think Informant came up with. It's actually the ECO code for the Najdorf variation with bishop g5. Let's see if he plays it. Okay, he's true to his word. He doesn't play it. So, yeah, it would be the bishop g5 Najdorf. He's playing the English attack instead. Don't really know these positions very well, but I can wing it. I can pretend. Duffman says, bold of you to assume I have friends. But also Sag. Yeah, that's right. It could be, and it could have nothing to do with the B99 ECO code. Do you guys know what the Scandi ECO code is? There's only one ECO code for the Scandinavian defense. Yeah, this could definitely be Brooklyn 99. Okay, looks like he's going for g4. I'm going to let him do that. I'm just going to play for b5, bishop b7. No, it is not c69. It's b01, b01. Very good, Duffman. Should I watch Brooklyn 99? Is it decent? I haven't watched a TV show in a long time. Or a Netflix show or whatever. JB23? Yeah, unfortunately the ECO codes only go to E, I believe. It's hilarious, it's overrated, it's funny. Okay, vastly different opinions here. Maybe that's why they created this account. You guys have convinced me that it's probably not due to... Let's ask him. Let's ask him. D5, I'm going to break in the center. E5, knight E4. His answer will be yes. Wow, you guys are right. Good job, chat. He says it is also a variation of the Najdorf, but I don't know the theory. I went on this just tangent about how B99 is like really hardcore bishop G5 Najdorf theory, and you guys were like, he's probably talking about Brooklyn 99. I feel a little bad. I kind of want to add some time to his clock. Can I do that? Let's give him some time. Because I made him type a response when he was getting to like under a minute. All right, bishop d2. I think I should take that, but his king is actually pretty snug on that square. Maybe just bishop e7. Let's just postpone any capture. This knight's really nice. Pretty annoying for him. Even if he castles, I think he's still going to be in some danger around his king. He gave me time? Really? Oh, he did, yeah. That's a nice dude. I gave him 45 seconds and he gave me 30. Shout out to B99. So here, queen takes d3, knight f2 is the idea. And if pawn takes, I'm thinking maybe b4 at some point. Probably not right away, but actually, I guess now I can take. Because bishop takes, there's bishop takes here. That looks pretty strong. This pawn on b2 is overloaded. Now I'm threatening queen takes c3. So he's got to be super careful. Probably king b1 is the thing to do here. I think there's some compensation for him, though, to be honest. Ooh, he takes, but I think that's going to open the king too much. That is a weak white king. Rook d2, queen a1 is mate. I'm threatening this and also this. You like this setup, John Connor? Yeah, this is checkmate. Thank you for the game. B99 is overrated. A pleasure to play you. And thanks for clarifying what your username's about. We appreciate it, and the chat appreciates it. Yeah, I think in this one, probably the preparation on the king side was a little bit too time-consuming for white. H3, G4. Also, a lot of times you don't want to play A3. All that being said, I mean, this position might be okay for white, even though I've just won a pawn, if white plays king b1. If white goes king b1 there, instead of taking, I think it's potentially okay. But thanks again for the game. All right. Chess with 666, ominous username. You are up. 10:55, let's go. What have I not played today? Let's just play e5. Oh, this is a 5+3. Didn't notice. Too late now. Bertle. I still make that mistake. I was double checking it at the beginning, but I let my guard down. I let my sense of danger down. I was trying to play a Stafford Gambit there, by the way, but white didn't take the pawn on e5. Okay, well, this might be a little bit longer then. I know I was still thinking about b99. Let's play d6. Yeah, almost a rapid game. Exactly. Now that he plays h3, we're going to play for the attack, because there's a little hook here, where if I get a pawn up to g4, this attacks two different things, the knight on f3 and the pawn. So this can create some unpleasant situations for white, let's say. Pull this back. I think this is a pretty good move, because d4 could be played. He's moving pretty quickly. It's very possible he'll slow down, but he's moving pretty quickly for now. John, can you try to transpose a Sicilian into a hedgehog position if you get a chance? Interesting, Bishop Kevorkian. Well, the only way you can really do that is if they play for c4. I can try to play a Khan Sicilian. Maybe I'll look to do that. We had a request for an accelerated dragon, so I'll try to play that. But if I play a Khan Sicilian, that gives white the option of playing c4. But honestly, not that many players do that at the amateur level. Nick Zach says, hey, John, I like to play 2 knight c3 in the Scandi to get players out of theory. What's your opinion? I don't think it's a very good move because For one thing, black can take on e4 and then play queen d5. I actually mentioned that in my Scandinavian course. And for another thing, okay, g4, I'm gonna do this. We'll see what happens here. Another thing, d4 or even just knight f6 are good moves. So I personally like it as a Scandinavian player when my opponents play knight c3 on move 2. As I like it if they play e5. The only good move against the Scandinavian is to take the pawn on d5. That's one nice thing about it. You kind of funnel the game into a direction that you might be familiar with. Your thoughts on the Scotch Gambit? Very tricky. I think all the lines have been worked out to equality or even black being better in some cases. But certainly playable, certainly tricky. What do you think of the move 3, queen d8 in the Scandi? You played this against Sam Sevian 6 years ago in a tournament. Yeah, I did, yeah. It was at the Fall Festival in like 2015 or something. Well, I have a course on Chessable completely dedicated to the queen d8 Scandi. And I still play it a fair amount. Yep, it's a legit weapon. Let's take here. I'm trying to open the file. Is the knight f3 Scandi challenging? Do you mean after queen takes d5 playing knight f3? Yes. Yeah, it's a good line. And also underrated. And in fact, in that course I just mentioned, the chapter on the knight f3 line, I actually called it the underrated knight f3. So it is a viable weapon. It leads to lines that are unlike the rest of the Scandinavian complex. Ooh, now I get to take here. Rook takes h3. I'm threatening rook g3 check. That's kind of a funny threat due to the pin on the pawn here. So I would probably play king g2 if I were white, but down a pawn, maybe rook h4 coming. This is starting to get awkward. What is the best Sicilian to learn for a 1300 ELO? Well, I was mentioning the accelerated dragon and the hyper accelerated dragon. I kind of like those. But there are many options at your disposal, but those are just two that come to mind. Let's take. And then I can either target this pawn, I can play something like queen d7, or maybe queen f6. Queen f6 is also pretty appealing. I think this is the cleanest move, though. This white's going to have a hard time guarding here. King g3 looks like something you don't want to do. And, I mean, interestingly, on king here, I have some options like taking on g4 and then playing bishop f2 as a deflection. I might not want to do that, though. It's probably more promising to just keep the attack going here. Or is it? I don't know. Well, let's play f6. I'll keep the attack. Guard this pawn so he can't play bishop takes g5, but get ready to castle and swing another rook over. Let's castle. He's defending pretty well, I gotta say. What are your thoughts on the Chigorin for white, which includes ideas such as the Jobava London and the Richter Veresov attack? So you mean d4 with knight c3. Yeah, decent. Not theoretically challenging, but decent. If you're well prepared, then I'm sure you'll win a lot of games with it. Is Danish Gambit good for players over 1700? Kind of like the answer to a lot of these questions. It can be. You know, I think a lot of openings, virtually any opening you guys are naming is fine. You know, a lot of these are not the main lines, but they're fine. It's more important that you're comfortable with the positions. Ooh, and this is checkmate. Thank you for the game. Chess was 666. Yeah, so in this one, I think probably you just overreacted to the g4 idea. It's already a little uncomfortable, I know, when g4 is going to attack two things, but you don't want to push this many pawns around your king. It starts to get kind of weakening. Yep, thank you for the game. So, yeah, what I was saying about the openings. Famous forking legend, 2332. It's more important to play something that you're comfortable with and that you're having decent results with over time than it is to worry about theoretical status. Because even me, when I say stuff like, yeah, it's not theoretically challenging, I'm talking about the top level. Like the 1/10 of 1%, how they would deem an opening. And that should play into your decision to take on an opening or not for study. But it's way more important how you feel about the positions. I mean, I've played openings that, in theory, are good. Like I've said this about the Najdorf before. I learned the Najdorf at one point. I invested several months into studying it and playing it when I was around 2000. And I just found I didn't like the positions, flat out. They were extremely theory heavy. I felt like black was hanging on by a thread in many cases. I just didn't like them. And that's no judgment about the Najdorf. It's just my approach. Like, I generally don't like studying extremely dense, long lines that lead to equality maybe at the end. I would rather usually deviate or play something theoretically less relevant, but playable for me. So you should always factor that into what openings you're thinking about. But you don't want to play outright bad stuff as well, of course. Like maybe a good metric is if your opening relies completely on traps to not only get an advantage, but sometimes even maintain equality, you probably shouldn't be playing it. Now, if there are traps in the opening that may be advantageous to you as a byproduct of the opening already being good, that's a different matter. MVL is starting to find that out about the Najdorf these days. Yeah, what dedication he has to the Najdorf. That is a level of dedication that I don't even know that my Scandi could match. I'm pretty sure MVL likes the Najdorf more than I like the Scandi, which is saying a lot. Okay, pretty competitive game here. I'm way ahead on the clock. Go figure that when I'm babbling about openings, I have much better time management than I do normally when I'm actually thinking about my moves. There's a lesson in there, I think. Go with your instinct. Let's play this. I'm going to try to induce him into playing c6 so that I can trap his knight. Also, b4 is just a straight-up threat now. So when he comes back, we're going to win a pawn. Could have also played b4 on the previous move, and he would have had bad pawns at the end, but I think this move is annoying at least. Use the rambling as a weapon? Yeah. Okay, there's also knight d7, but he takes here, so let's do this first. Then on knight c6, I can play knight d7 or knight takes. This is a pretty stable move. I think, though, we got to go for this. We got to go for the principled win of material. An exchange is an exchange. Okay, rook here now. Useful move, hit the queen. Also, I have ideas like b5 or taking. Kind of like b5. b5 and go after the pawn on c7, huh? Oh! I blundered. I blundered that tactic. Fortunately, I hope it's not too bad. He's living up to his username. It wasn't quite a fork, but he's using that knight. Player with this username can use a knight. Rest assured of that. Does that work? I think that's a bluff. I think you're bluffing. Well, he's going to take that one. Okay. Well, if I take here, it might lead to some checks, and that would actually be a draw. So let's not get too greedy. Let's play the queen back. This looks like a clinical way to handle the position. Just guard this pawn. Yeah. Not a whole lot going on here for my opponent. Rook over. Threaten rook d8, also b7. Looks decent. Let's take check. Really only has one idea. Now it feels like there should be mate. Oh, maybe I had this on the previous move as well. Let's check. And then check here. We're doing everything with check. And this is mate. All right. Thank you for the game, Famous Forking Legend. That knight kind of got sidelined a little bit on a5. This is a good example, actually, of what I was talking about. So my opponent played the Chigorin variation with the knight coming to c6. Active line. The line I played here is not the way to, like, punish this opening, but at least a pretty logical development. And I think white's a hair better here. And I like lines like that, where I know I don't have to study the latest theoretical novelty to get a decent position. I think a lot of people can relate to that. But yeah, I did blunder allowing knight takes d4. Should probably play something like maybe queen f3 here. Even taking is probably fine. Knight takes and then get out of the way. And even as played, it's probably okay, but I should have seen that. Okay, Mary 2007 is next. Can you play a King's Gambit? Well, I keep saying I'm going to play stuff and then I forget. Okay, I'm going to try to play an Accelerated Dragon because someone asked about that. Can't remember if they asked about Accelerated or Hyper Accelerated. Okay, but white plays bishop c4. Let's play e6 against that. And we'll go for d5. A lot of players play this bishop c4 variation against various lines of the Sicilian. And I do think it's a pretty good idea to play for d5 against that. Put a pawn on e6 and then play for d5. Aggressive. So I can't take twice because of the pin here, but I think I can just castle in this position. Watch for this e-file situation. It may backfire on white. I'm going to take with a pawn. Let's go maybe bishop f5. Let's play rook over. Ambush. John, please play Latvian Gambit. Oh, that's not one you hear about every day. Do you guys know what streamer absolutely hates the Latvian Gambit? Some of you people who watch old school streamers may know. But he often goes on diatribes against the Latvian Gambit. Ooh, my tactical senses are firing here. Moves like this are looking juicy. Then f4, though. Bishop g4 coming in. Okay, I'm going to play this. This looks too good to pass up. Threatening knight f3. Forsen. KC, King Crusher, Chess Explained, Agad Mator, Greg, Chess. Yeah, it's Chess Explained. Christoph. Christoph has a very negative opinion of the Latvian Gambit, which is e4, e5, knight f3, f5. Basically the King's Gambit in reverse for black. It's a long-running thing with him that the Latvian is awful. Let's go here. So if f4, the plan is to play bishop g4. I'm trying to attack. Hello, Martin. Yeah, I can't move this knight because I would get mated, or lose the rook, I guess. But bishop g4 looks plenty good. This kind of reminds me of a Marshall Gambit, where you wedge the queen in on h3. There's a lot of ideas like this in mainline Marshall Gambit theory. Engine doesn't like it either, if I remember, says Lifebeard. Yeah, I mean, Latvian Gambit is probably a losing opening in terms of the Engine evaluation. Now, knight f3 wins the queen, but I'm also thinking about maybe knight takes d3 and then bringing the rook in here. That looks pretty darn good as well. Because here, rook takes back. They get some material for it. And I have a sneaking suspicion this is even stronger. Let's play it. And this rook is defended by the other rook. Note. At queen takes, there's even bishop e2, which is probably the most brutal move. Hard to argue with bishop e2. This queen f3 or queen takes e2 is almost forced here. Yeah, white has too little development going on, too weak on the light squares. What kind of techniques do you use to improve your visualization for blindfold chess other than repetition? You know, I don't really train that specifically. I never have. I see people ask that occasionally, how to improve blindfold play or visualization via blindfold play. But I think it's just a proportional thing where the better you get at chess, the more easily it is for you to visualize the board. And if you're solving tactics correctly, where you're solving for accuracy, your visualization skills will get better over time. If you're making an effort to front load the work in the tactic, your visualization will improve. Thanks for the game, Mary. I don't think this bishop c4 approach is that good, but probably the move that kind of gets you in trouble already is knight e5. That essentially just resulted in a trade that you had to use several moves in order to achieve, and black's already firmly on the attack here. Thank you for the game. All right, printer ink. Let's go, printer ink. 1571. Maybe I'll try to play a Latvian. Oh, computer smoke. The guy I beat in the simul. All right. I don't think I saw your answer. I asked what simul it was. He takes the pawn on f5. I think I'm supposed to play e4 here, if I'm not mistaken. At a high school. Okay. All right. I've given a couple simuls at high schools. I think I know which one you're referring to. Let's play e4. I think if knight e5, you go knight f6 and you guard the h5 squares. Or square, singular. But I'm really winging this. Knight f6. Obviously, when you're pushing your f-pawn like this, your king is inherently weak. So watch out for queen h5. Okay, d5. If the Latvian goes correctly, though, you might have this nice central pawn mass to work with. Let's play this. We'll keep expanding. What are your thoughts on the e6, b6 opening for black? It's reasonable. You're probably going to be a little bit worse and sometimes cramped, but it's reasonable. Now, this bishop is almost trapped. Let's play a sneaky move here. I'm curious if he's going to see the threat. I don't think this move is that good, but it's a little bit of hope chess. But let's see if printer ink sees the threat. Did you know there's an opening called the Lion's Jaw? That I did. I have a video on my channel with the Lion's Jaw opening. And it's in the title. I think it's called Into the Lion's Jaw. If you search that on my channel, you'll find it. Ooh, he did not see the trap. I think d3 was the move there. Oh, and he resigned. Now I feel bad. But he wrote that, how can this be, before I even played c4? Maybe he saw it right after he moved. Well, I don't know about well played, but you get the idea. All right. Yeah, good game, printer ink. Yeah, for the record, the best move against the Latvian is supposed to be knight takes e5 instead of e takes f5. Because knight takes e5, you'd threaten queen h5. Black plays the move queen f6 against that to meet queen h5 with g6. But thank you for the game. We'll play again in another 4 more years. You know, maybe go into hardcore study mode. Do a Rocky training montage for the next 4 years. We'll play circa 2025. Okay, We're back to almost 200 challenges. Oh no, I didn't mean to do this. Shrain, that was just the top one. All right, we got to abort this game. I'm sorry, Shrain. That challenge has been sitting there at the top forever. I was bound to click on it at some point. Here we go, DD91. Good luck. Let's play knight f3 this time. All right. Let's play c4, move 2. Knight f3 is a flexible move. I'll go knight c3. They can transpose to a queen's gambit, declined, or play bishop b4. All right. I'll play g3 against this. Here, other transpositions are possible. Maybe do a Terrace if black plays d5. We could have a hedgehog-like position. I think going for d4 in the near future is what I'm going to do. Play the Gibbons Wiedenhagen gambit, please. That sounds made up. I know I've said that there's a lot of openings I don't know, but that one sounds straight up made up. Play bishop f4. Oh no, my fork. You're not ready for this game? Get ready. We're on move 9. We're almost in the middle game. Oh, he didn't fall for it. Kudos if you saw that e5 could be met by knight takes c6, followed by bishop takes e5, because knight takes c6 would hit the queen. But kudos to my opponent. He didn't fall for it. It's real. d4, knight f6, g4. Oh, that's what that gambit is called? Wait, I gotta check this out. Really? Wow, it is a legit gambit. Or at least a named gambit. It just sounds so made up. Okay. Well, maybe in honor of that, I will try it. Let's go bishop e3, save the bishop. What are those books behind you? Those are the Yusupov books. There's Build Up Your Chess, Boost Your Chess, and Chess Evolution. Really good books. Pretty challenging. I'm going to go rook c1. We might be looking to drop the bomb here, knight d5. I mentioned this at the very beginning of the stream. Let's do it. It's a nice motif with the rook opposite the queen. So take, pin on the knight. So we win the material back. Possibly with interest here. Hey, thank you, Zava. This is regards from Slovenia. Beautiful country, Slovenia. I'm fortunate to have been there before in 2012. I love that trip. Great little country to visit. I highly recommend it. If you're ever in Slovenia, go to the town of Bled. B-L-E-D. Check out Lake Bled. It's a very old town. It has like a medieval castle up on the cliffs as well, overlooking the lake in the town. It is gorgeous. Looks like something out of a Disney movie. You can Google it if you like to get a flavor for it. But oh, hi, Laura Unuk. Yeah, I think you're from Slovenia, right? She's also a streamer doing the Lichess Plays series. So she's one of the streamers who plays you guys for 2 hours at a time. Lichess has done a really good job of getting a bunch of streamers in the mix. And I'm sure she knows all about how gorgeous Slovenia is. Pretty strong chess country, it seems, too. Right? Oh, my pleasure, chess mining. Nice. Lake Bled doesn't sound ominous at all. Yeah. It's the most peaceful lake you could imagine, with Bled in the title. There's an Olympiad there, I'm pretty sure. Some years ago. All right, let's play maybe b3 here. Bishop takes a2 could be a threat in the future. 2002, nice. Hello, Older Gold. I remember you. Yeah, we played. I remember you, sir. Serious time pressure from my opponent. I'm going to jump the knight into b5. That was the idea of a4. Hitting the bishop. Also d6 is under attack. And black is not long for this world. Take bishop b6. He's in overdrive now, but it's too little too late. So, remember the knight c3 to d5 idea. We've seen this in 2 different games. The very first game of the stream, and now this one here. Rook lined up against the enemy queen. Even with traffic in the way, you can still often execute this idea, as you get this nice pin on the knight on c6. And it can be used sacrificially too if you purely give up a piece for a pawn or two. But here it's even a pretty clean application of it. Thanks for the game, DD91. Let's keep rolling here. We'll probably have time for 2, maybe 3 games. And you guys know what's coming up, right? Get ready. It's not this game, but the last game that we play on stream. You know what set is coming. Let's see those horsey emotes in the chat. I know you guys got them. Thank you, Emrian. So my channel is just my name, John Bartholomew. And I'm on Twitch and YouTube. I mostly post educational stuff. I have, I think, something like 1,600 videos on YouTube. It's a lot. It's really a crazy amount. If you're new to my channel, I'd recommend checking out my Chess Fundamentals series, as well as the Climbing the Rating Ladder series. And I stream on Twitch sporadically. I don't have a set schedule, but I'm usually on maybe twice a week on average. So thank you in advance for checking out my channel. There we go. I see the horsey emotes. Now, should I do the double-double? Should I really double down in the last game? Horsey set and Bonk Cloud? That really increases the difficulty. Because last time I did horsey set only, and it was a pretty easy game. It's just luck of the draw based on who you play. But should I double down Bonk Cloud and horsey set? What do you guys think? I don't even know why I'm asking. But I just want to see if I can get your approval. Triple it up, make it a Babusta game. Hey, you never know, you might get lucky. Okay, I gotta watch this pawn a little bit. I think I'm gonna play king h7 so I can meet queen c2, let's say, with pawn c6. That is even knight takes d5, maybe. But I think I'll play c6. Twitch chat never said no to a Bonk Cloud? Exactly. Yeah, you know what they like. Let's play f4. Get the light square bishop involved. What's your favorite tournament opening that has gotten you the most wins overboard? Well, my favorite opening is of course the Scandinavian defense. There's no doubt about that. But as far as the line that's got me the most wins over the board, let's say beyond the Scandinavian, I'd really have to think about that. I don't know. Maybe there's a couple lines that I score pretty heavily with. This is going to sound totally lame, which is why I have to force myself to play dynamically sometimes. But I have a great record with the exchange Slav for white. I know, that's the most boring thing you've heard all day. But the exchange Slav is a legit challenging opening. Make no mistake about it. I'm down a pawn here, by the way. I don't like what I did, because a5 is met by queen d6. Oh, then I have bishop takes b2. Okay, well, let's play a5 just to... Can even try this right away. Let's just try to knock white off balance a little bit. You play the exchange Slav as well? Yeah, it's a good opening. And you know how I decided to start playing that opening a little bit for white? Is because I tended to struggle against it from the black side. That is a great barometer for choosing an opening. If you hate playing against said opening, you should consider playing it from the other side. Oh, thank you, Confucius. I know you're just saying that because you want to play a game, but I do appreciate it. Ooh, here there's knight f7. Okay, this is an issue. Here, maybe? I definitely have to be careful this game. H-bomb power. It's pushing me to the limit. That's also a good move. Tricky business going on here. Rook a7? This feels so wrong. I feel so uncoordinated here. I gotta stop the rook from coming in. Okay, maybe bishop e8 now. I might be able to slither out of this. This bishop's doing a pretty good job of controlling some squares. Here. Bishop f4, I'll play bishop d6. All right, I'm getting more coordinated, finally. We're getting there. We're all going to make it. Except for my opponent, I hope. Okay, let's take that. Okay. I got the 2 minors against the rook. That's usually a good sign. Okay, I might be... let's not give up that pawn. Plus speed. Let's hurry, John. My skill in time scrambles is debatable. Because there's this sometimes a little bit of lag that goes on. I don't know why. But let's start advancing. Get this in here. There we go. Pawn up. He's facing some might here. Oh, we win. Okay. H-bomb. Good game. I think this is the most competitive game we've had so far today. You definitely had me sweating there. So thank you very much, H-bomb. Good stuff. All right. Last game. It's 2:58 U.S. Central Time. We started at 1. This is a 2-hour stream. So this is going to be the last game of today's stream. Oh. As is tradition, let's put the piece set up before we play it. So we're going horsey set and Bonk Cloud, no matter who I play. Doesn't matter if it's a 1200 or a 2200. Let's do this. All right, I'm going to have my work cut out for me with this one. Alex Luzin from Canada. Let's go. The die has been cast. Let's go. Now, do I want to play a Winter Palace variation? I don't know that I could justify the Winter Palace against Alex Luzin. This is a guy who might be able to punish the Palace approach. Okay, let's play f3. Build a stable structure for the king. Even the king is a little unsure about this. He doesn't know. He's like, I don't know why you're sending me out here, John. I don't feel too comfortable about this. This hurts my head? Yep, that's the point. With an expression like that, that's definitely a knight you send to the edge of the board. He's just kind of like, looking off into space. Okay. Knight f2, then penguin captures, followed by capturing here. That's no good for me. So, I think maybe bishop g5. Let's do that. Or sorry, penguin g5. All right, all right. Here, maybe? Or bishop all the way back to f2? Let's play bishop g3. Attack. Queen's coming out. Okay. Let's go horsey back to f2. And how to coordinate from here? Maybe I send the other knight to the edge of the board. Remains to be seen. Well, let's move the king back for now. He did the job in the center of the board. Now it's time to play bishop e2. Piece is hard to see. Again, that is the point. As excruciating as it may be. Is this chess too? It very well could be. This could be the patch. Part of the patch. Okay, I'm thinking b4. I'm thinking try to expand over here even further. Takes away queen c5, maybe a4, a5. If black castles this way, I've got the makings of potential pawn storm. I do have to be very cautious on the dark squares, no doubt, because black has a dark square bishop. He's throwing everything he has at me. I like that move. That is a principled move. Let's take it. I'll put the queen here to cover. Maybe we go this way with the king. That might be the next link in the plan here. Do you mind playing me and losing? I would actually mind playing you and losing. Okay, a5. Good move. Good undermining move right there. Very good move, actually. Because now, if I play a3, I feel like the dark squares are going to be too weak. They're going to be indefensible. So I might have to play a sacrifice like b5. Yeah, let's do that. I'll try to prove that the pawn on b5 is weaker later, but I don't know if I'm going to succeed in that. Oh, doesn't take it. I don't know about that. I was not expecting that approach. Queen shooting into the position. I can try d4 here. There's also just the capture on c6. Let's do that. Capture. Hits the knight. Ah, this pawn's attacked. Wow. Wow. I feel like Owen Wilson or something. Wow. I didn't see that at first, though. Bring the king up once again. Bonk Clouding it again. Okay, this position is maybe becoming more acceptable, though. My time situation, on the other hand. That is a little bit different. Oh, the rooks do look suspicious. 100%. But again, the time is the biggest thing. Hurry, John. You got to keep your record intact. Can't let chat break us down here. Let's go this way next. He's going to bring his rook in. I know it. Pre-move time. Oh, he hung his bishop too. He hung the bishop. We're in business, guys. Suspicious rook. Let's do it. Oh, he took. He's panicking. Rook's going to do work here. Get the king in. There we go. There we go. The Bonk Cloud strikes with the horsey set pairing. Good game, Alex losing. Unfortunately, you were losing this game. I'm sorry. I had terrible play on your username. That was a good game. You had me under pressure significantly in this one. And I think if you had called my bluff and captured the pawn on b5, the engine is going to show -4 or -5. That was a username cheap shot. I'm sorry. All right. But yeah, I think if you captured the pawn on b5, the engine... Yep, there we go. Well, it's already -5 or 4 before I played b5, but... yeah, even queen c5, I guess, is pretty good. Queen e3, looking for the queen trade. That probably did me a favor, too, because it took a lot of the pressure off my king. But there we go. Competitive game here. The last 2 games in this stream were definitely competitive. Sorry, G-Haven. Not today, but you can challenge me again in the future. Yeah, thank you to everyone who tuned in today. Thank you to my opponents. A lot of fun. Again, I can't get to everyone. We're still well above 100 challenges, even though the stream just ended. But Lichess is doing these regularly, and you'll see me again. It's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy this. Something I've been looking forward to every week. So we'll keep it going. Thank you, Gunther. Will do. Thank you, Wa Parker, by the way. Raza Grizzle, Bob Woosta, LB Hikes, Potjam Knight, Replay K. Yep, see you later, S1. Kostinsky, yep, thank you. Thank you, Duraj. Next time, new house. Well, I'm probably going to be in this house for the next month, roughly. But then I will be moving. As you can see, it's already getting more and more bare. Yeah, I've been cleaning a lot of stuff lately. See you later, Mikolaj. Thanks again, guys. I'm going to let you go. I think Lichess usually raids someone, so they may start that now. Thanks again to the Lichess mods and Lichess itself. Looks like we're raiding Zug Addict. All right. Who's going to beat me next time, by the way? Still undefeated, so one of you guys has to take me down. Weren't too many close calls today, but I know someone out there is going to get the better of me. All right. Take care, everyone. See you later. Bye. Happy Mother's Day, by the way.